What's up, YouTube? This is Wreckage here, and bringing you the third episode of Magic the Gathering Boot Camp. Now, you might notice that my screen is a little bit darker than normal. That is because, hang on, it's because, this video needs to be done a little bit differently because I can't do, like, animations on, my screen. In this video, I'll be covering the, combat phase. So, that's going to involve, attacking and blocking with creatures. The basic, way to win the game, or the most often seen. Now, I had to turn down brightness and stuff, so that's why it looks really back in the dark and really kind of bright up front, because it's the only light that's coming off is my webcam. That's it, is the webcam light, and it's because I can't hold up a card without it having a lot of reflection. That's why I do the thing on the right side of the screen over on this side. Yeah, this side. So, that being said, I'm going to get right into this. Now, the basic way to win the game is to attack and block with your creatures. In a game of Magic, players start, or in a basic game of Magic, players start with 20 life each. And creatures, like I covered in the last episode, attack and block and deal damage equal to their power, and can take damage up to their toughness. And I'll explain when I show you this card. So, this is I know it's kind of grainy and stuff, but this is the best I can do. This is Cyclops of One Eye Pass. Now, there's nothing special about him. He's just a Cyclops for 4 mana, and he's a 5/2, as you can see in the power and toughness box on the lower right-hand side of the card. Now, what this means is that he can deal 5 damage, and he can take 2 before he dies. Now, if you pair that up, or compare him with a card like this, Zombie Goliath, he is a 5 mana 4/3. Now, he can deal 4 and take 3. Which, am I looking at the right one? He can take 4, deal 3. Now, back in the lands video, I said you use lands to tap. You tap lands to activate their abilities. With creatures, creatures can also tap to activate abilities, but they also tap to attack. And here's a huge difference in Magic is creatures only tap to attack. They don't tap to block. That is a big thing I see with newer players, is that they hear tap and then associate tapping creatures with combat phases. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't have to tap a creature to block with it. You only have to tap to attack. So, that being said, say I have Cyclops One Eye Pass, you have Zombie Goliath. I say, okay, I'm going to attack with my with my Cyclops of One Eye Pass this turn. So I turn the card sideways. Now, I've indicated I'm attacking with Cyclops, which means that you need to be concerned about the power it can deal, the damage it can deal, which is associated with its power of 5. The damage it can take before it dies is 2. So, now, you can block with any number of creatures. I'll get to more of that in just a little bit. But for right now, assume you have 2 options. You can either block with Zombie Goliath, or you can not block with Zombie Goliath. If you don't, you say, I'm not going to block, and then you take 5 damage from Cyclops. However, if you say, I am going to block, then Zombie Goliath blocks. Now, what this means is that the creatures are now in combat. And if nobody has anything else to do, a couple things happen. Cyclops will deal damage equal to its power to Goliath. Goliath will deal damage equal to its power to Cyclops. So Cyclops will take 4, and Goliath will take 5. Because Cyclops can only take 2, and Zombie Goliath dealt it 4, Cyclops is dead. Because Zombie Goliath can only take 3, and the Goliath took 5, it is dead. So both creatures will be killed and you don't take any damage. Now, that's only an instance of one-on-one. Another rule of combat is that you can block with multiple creatures. Now, say for instance, I have Fortress Crab. It is a 1/6 with no other special abilities. Now, you have both. Let me see if I can just arrange them in my hands here. So I have Fortress Crab. And you have Walking Corpse and Zombie Goliath. You already know what Zombie Goliath is. Walking Corpse is a 2/2, which means it can deal 2 and take 2. It can deal 2 damage, and it can take up to 2 damage. So, in this situation, it is your turn to attack. So, assuming that it's your turn to attack, you can attack with Zombie Goliath, Walking Corpse, or both. If you attack with both, a couple things can happen. I can say, okay, I block Zombie Goliath, I block Walking Corpse, or I block neither. If I block neither, I'll take 6 damage, 2 from Walking Corpse, 4 from the Giant. 4 from the Goliath. If I block the Goliath, Goliath deals Fortress Crab 4, Fortress Crab deals Goliath 1, and Walking Corpse deals me 2. So in this situation, no creatures would die because 1 is not strong enough to deal 3, and 3 is not strong enough to deal 6. So no creatures would die. Same thing if I blocked Walking Corpse, except I would take 2 extra damage rather than 2 from Walking Corpse. I'd take 4 from Zombie Goliath. So in this situation, it would be better for me to block Giant, because that would prevent more damage and nothing would happen. Now, say that it's my turn to attack. I say, okay, I'm going to attack you with Fortress Crab. I'm attacking with a 1/6. You have a couple options. You could block it with Walking Corpse. You could block it with Zombie Goliath. You could block it. You could say, I'm not going to block with anything. Or you could say, I'm going to block with both. And this is another key rule about combat and Magic, is that creatures can only block one creature at a time. However, multiple creatures can block one creature and gang up on it. So, in this situation, if you blocked with Walking Corpse, you wouldn't take a damage, neither of the creatures would die. If you blocked with Zombie Goliath, Fortress Crab would take 4, your guy would take 1, nothing would happen, no creatures would die. However, if you blocked with both, your creature's combined power would be 6. That's enough to kill Fortress Crab. Now, thinking about this a little bit differently, this is where the attacker gets to do something else. Because you're blocking with multiple creatures, I can distribute my attacker's power among the creatures that you blocked with. So, Fortress Crab's power is 1. I can deal 1 damage to Walking Corpse or Zombie Goliath. And nothing would happen, however, my Fortress Crab would die because it's going to take 6 in total. So in that situation, this would die. In a different situation, say I attacked with Cyclops of the One-Eyed Pass. Now he's got 5 power and 2 toughness. So, you could block with Walking Corpse, in which case both would die. You could block with Zombie Goliath, which in that case both would die. But if you, for whatever reason, you decide to block with both of your creatures, something strange happens. Your total power is 6, so Cyclops will die. However, my Cyclops' power is 5, so I can distribute 5 damage among the creatures that you blocked with. Now, because your Walking Corpse is 2, and your Goliath's toughness is 3, I can deal 2 to Walking Corpse and 3 to the Goliath, which would kill them both. So all the creatures would die. Now, that may sound like a lot of information to take in. However, there's only, I believe, 4 key points out of this entire video. The first, whoever's turn it is, they declare their attackers by tapping their creatures. Tapped, that's the first one. So, if you want to attack with a creature, you have to tap it. The second key rule is, creatures in Magic don't attack other creatures. Creatures in Magic attack players. So, to be a better understanding of this, you have 2 creatures, right? I have this, you have this. I can't say, okay, Cyclops will attack your Zombie Goliath. They kill each other. That's not how it works. On my combat phase, I say, Cyclops is going to attack you for 5, and then it's up to you to block. That is a huge key part of Magic, and what makes it so interesting is that the combat phase isn't just, I send my creature to go suicide bomb your guy. It's tactical, because the attacker has, is always at a disadvantage. Think of it as like a fighting on home ground. If you're the one blocking, or in Magic's terms, the defending player, it's my creature's coming after you on your home turf. So obviously you would have a home field advantage. Your home field advantage in Magic being you can decide how you want to block. Now, that being said, so the first key point is creatures tap to attack. Second key point, creatures attack players, not other creatures. Point number 3, a creature can only block one creature, but multiple creatures can block one creature. So, like I said again, this guy could singularly block the Cyclops, but you could also block multiples like this. However, if you attack with 2, I can't block them both with 1. It doesn't work like that. It's a one-way street. And point 4 is creatures do not tap to block. That is the other huge point. And the side point, this is I guess, a little like tack on to part 3, is that if you block with multiple creatures, it's the attacking player that can distribute their damage among your creatures. So, once again, I'll say this for the 4th time. The first point, creatures tap to attack. The second point, creatures only attack players, not creatures. Point number 3, you can block only creatures can block only one creature at a time. Multiple creatures can block multiple creatures can gang up on one creature when they block, and then the attacker can distribute their damage among them. And rule number 4 is that creatures do not tap to block. So those are the 4 main points. I'll put them up again at the end of the video, whatever, or right now, right in this little corner here, looking at it. Am I looking at it? Yeah, now I am. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you get the point. So that does it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day.